What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video on Buy Sell Cars TV. Today we're actually going to be heading over to BCA Perry Barr, so it's over in Birmingham. I thought I'd give you a little bit of an intro on what we're going to be getting up to today. So I actually bought a Ford Focus online a couple of days ago. It's a 1.8 Focus Zetec, pretty good condition to be honest, grade 3, really nice colour. History seems okay as well, but we're going to get into all of that anyway later on in the video. So let's head down to the train station, head up to Birmingham, and I'm going to catch up with you when I get to BCA Perry Barr. So I'll see you shortly. Right, so let me give you a quick walk around of the car. First impressions is actually looking quite tidy. Going down the driver's side, this side we're looking pretty good. Over the back over here, pretty good, pretty clean. Nothing major really. Yeah, I'm really happy with how this is looking so far. So going down the passenger side, things like the wheels, not really a big deal. 57 plate car, you're going to expect those sort of things, but generally speaking, those panels are looking really nice and straight. I can't really see anything out of the ordinary. The tiniest of little car parking dinks here, but overall, this car, first impressions, without obviously getting any work done, any valeting, thumbs up. Let's check the interior. So on first impressions, I think the interior is pretty good condition. Little bit of marking over here, some dirt in the center console, but do you know what? I think someone's actually taken care of this car. It's not what I like to call the BCA specials where they require a lot of work. Just a little bit of staining over there, nothing too major. Obviously a valet's going to get done as always. Even the gear knob, all the console over here. It just needs a good wipe down. It's not even that bad. So first impressions, this is looking pretty good. Let's check the rear out as well. Yeah, the rear seats are looking really good. Do you know what? It looks like they haven't even been sat in a long time. The tiniest bit of stainage over here, you can probably pick it up on the camera, but in real life, it's not showing. But do you know what? The seatbelt's done like this is a sign of when the car was MOT'd. And that was quite a few months ago, so I don't think anyone's been sat in the back of this car. So just going by first impressions on the overall interior, I think this is a good car. I think we've done well so far. But let's not jinx ourselves. Let's get in, start the car, see how things are looking under the engine. And I'll tell you what, even underneath here, it's looking nice, looking pretty dry. Can't see any oil residue, so things are looking pretty good. Let's check the oil as well. Yeah, oil's looking good. Probably just under maximum or a little bit less, but that's looking nice and clean. I think it was just serviced recently as well, so that's a bonus. But underneath the bonnet, things are looking good. I'm really happy with this one so far. So let's jump in the car, let's get it started. So how are we looking? No lights on the dash, the car started fine. Fingers crossed, everything runs right. But I think as you can see, the temperature gauge, the car has been started not long ago, probably was moved around in the location where we are now. So far, things are looking good. I'll tell you what, I'm pleasantly surprised with this car. You know, after a couple of little issues I've had with some of the recent purchases, nothing crazy, but still, you know, when you buy a car and you have to spend more money than you expected, it's not ideal. Obviously, I'm only 2 minutes into seeing this car, so there might be potential issues with this car, I don't know. But fingers crossed, this is going to be a good one. Like I say, the bodywork looks great. The engine oil, the coolant, it's very dry in the engine bay. Fingers crossed, this is going to be a good one. But yeah, first impressions, really happy with this one. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to set the cameras up in the car, obviously get ready to go, and what we'll do, we'll have a little bit of a chat, just talk about my plans with this car and obviously anything that I'm going to need doing to it. A bit about the history on this car and obviously just why I got it as well, so give you a bit of an insight into that. So yeah, I'll catch you in a second, guys. Right, so my first impressions. The car's driving spot on. Honestly, I can't fault it so far. Clutch feels really good. Come on to that in a second as well, actually. Gearbox, steering, brakes, everything feels nice. You know, it's done 73,000 miles and you can tell for the age it's a low mileage car. So yeah, first impressions are really happy. Now the reason I actually bought this car, there's a number of reasons, but you know, just to give you the main points. So the first point I liked about this car was it's low mileage for the age. So it's only done 73,000 miles. That was one thing which obviously stood out to me, because when you do buy higher mileage cars, you do sometimes limit your market. It depends on the car, you know. you've got a high mileage Range Rover, they still sell all day long, but you know, certain cars, there's a different market for them. So the mileage was definitely a bonus when I was looking at this car. The second point was that the car had really good history. From what you can just see at the point of when it's advertised on BCA, it had 12 services and was last serviced in November. Now for me, the fact that car's just recently been serviced is obviously a positive thing. It shows that the owner's got a bit of enthusiasm in the sense of the car should be all right. You know, if someone's driving a banger and they know it's not going to last much longer, they're not going to spend any money on the car getting it serviced because they'll think, what's the point? It's not always the case, by the way. It's just the way I look at things. I overthink everything, and this is just how one of the things I probably overthink, but it does pay off sometimes, right? The third point which I liked about the car was it didn't have crazy owners, so it's 3 previous owners. Now when you take into consideration the age of the car and the type of car it is, that's pretty good. The current owner actually had the car from 2016 as well, so the fact that the car's been kept in the same ownership for 7 years, to me that's something which I like. You know, again, it's not end of the world if someone sells their car after 6 months. I do that with my own cars, but it's nice when you're buying something to see that it's been kept in the same ownership for quite a while. Plus with the fact of the service history, it gives you a bit of an insight into the person. So look, I'm just probably overthinking it, but that's the reasons behind me getting this car. So now let's move on to actually when I picked up the car and when I saw the paperwork for the first time. And I'm pleased to say that the one thing I actually am really happy with on this car is not only has it got the 12 services, as I just mentioned, but it's got the invoices as well. And when I mean it's got invoices, this car's got stacks of invoices. And that's not something you see every day when it comes to old cars because of the value. You know, as cars get older and cheaper, people tend to not necessarily look after them as much. Not always the case, but it is a bit of a thing. Sometimes, you know, people aren't going to be as, you know, critical with keeping paperwork and things in order when it comes to a car if it's not worth a lot of money. But it's so good to see that this car has got a folder of paperwork. I was just flicking through and I think there's about easy 15-20 invoices in there, and especially from the current owner. So there's plenty of invoices from one garage, which is good to see as well. You know, service stamp only tells you X amount of things, whereas seeing an invoice tells you all the other bits that were done on the car as well, you know. And this car's had loads of things done. As I mentioned earlier about the clutch, this car's had a new clutch done last year. So all of these things are going to add value to the car and make it easier for me when I come to sell it. So that's a massive bonus point, and I'm really happy about that. There's so much traffic in Birmingham. I don't know what's going on. It feels like I'm in central London with the amount of traffic there is. So what do I need to get done to this car? Not a lot, to be honest, but there are a couple of things I would like to get addressed. So the first thing is the MOT. It's got about 6 months on it. And generally, if a car does have 6 months MOT, that is kind of my cut-off point. So I think what I'll probably do is, at the point of sale, I'd like to get it done then. Obviously, it adds value as well for the customer. You know, they'll feel that they're getting something more out of the deal. But at the same time, I could just get it done, to be honest, just to save that time and obviously make it a bit more attractive initially when the car's advertised. But, you know, let's see how things go with that. The next thing which I want to get addressed on the car as well is the 2 tyres. So it was actually an advisory on the previous MOT, but the car hasn't done a lot of mileage since then, so that's why I guess it's not really been changed. They're still legal. I think they're about 3 mil when I looked at the essential check, but they need doing. There's no point being tight or skimping on these things. It's only going to, again, add value to the car. So that is something which I'm going to need to get done. I don't need to get the car serviced because it was just done 2-3 months ago and obviously got the paperwork there in hand. So really and truly, all I need to get done to this car is an MOT, get the 2 tyres changed, and then get the car valeted. Hopefully I'm not missing something important, but those are the things which do need to get done to this car, and they're only going to add value. So overall, this purchase, I'm really happy with it. I'd like to think I'm going to make a good profit on this car, but in time, obviously, we'll see how things go with the market. But used car prices, especially at the cheaper end, it is very difficult to buy at the moment. Prices are quite high. So we just got to keep pushing, keep cracking on, and yeah, keep these videos going for you guys. But on that note, guys, I'm going to end today's video here. I really hope you've enjoyed it and it's given you, again, a bit of an insight into just picking cars up and what they're like on first impressions. Don't forget, obviously, comment down below, like, share, subscribe. Let me know if there's anything you want me to do differently, or if there's anything you want to see in future videos. Just let me know, guys, in the comments below. Add me up also on Instagram and TikTok. I'm doing videos on TikTok as well, believe it or not, and Instagram. You know, DM me if you have any questions. I'll be happy to help when I can. So on that note, I'm going to grab some lunch and head home, and then I'm going to see you on the next one. Take care, guys.